Hello, hello, hello. Marietta here, back with another video. Y'all know I want to talk to y'all about something that I was just thinking about today. And I hear so many people talking about their 40-hour-a-week job. And I want to let y'all know, in this economy, you're going to need more than 40-hour-a-week job. Your 40-hour-a-week job is not going to just cut it. You need that, yes, but you need something to go with it to help supplement your income. These 40 hours are never going to be the same ever again in life, because most people are not just working 40 hours anyway. Some of them are putting in 80 hours. Some of them are putting in, just working around the clock, trying to make it and still not making enough. You think about you making 20 to 30, even if you're making $20 an hour, and you're trying to rent something, they're telling you got to come up with first month security deposit, last month's rent, 3 times much the rent before you can get 30. It's just not going to make it. Well, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all a little story. Even back when I was on the job working, it's a certain lifestyle that you may have visioned for yourself. And when you envision this certain lifestyle for yourself, that means that the 40-hour-a-week job you have is not going to cut it 9 times out of 10. You're going to always have to have some type of something to help supplement it, whether it's just you starting a lawn care business, whether you're selling Mary Kay, whether you're selling Avon, whether you're just doing storage units. Back in my day, I used to do storage units to supplement my income, like buy storage units and flip the contents of the storage unit, do yard sales, buy stuff in yard sales, resell it, sell on eBay, had a whole eBay store running back then. You're going to have to figure out some way to supplement your income in this season, and something that you can do maybe at home after you've done your 40 hours, but you do need that 40-hour week paycheck to go along with whatever extra you make in this time. And I'm here to tell you, it is really getting worse, and the prices of everything is steady going up. So if you can figure out how to get out there and make this thing happen, you can make it happen, and you can have savings while you're doing it. You just got to be ambitious enough to figure out what it is extra that you can do to go along with what you already got working. If you got this 40-hour a week job working, that's great. Now all you need to do is figure out what your budget is, what your lifestyle looks like, what you want it to look like, and then start doing some extra things to create that type of lifestyle which you want. It's like saying, even when you go and you go to your 40-hour week job, and then Friday comes along and you say you made enough just to pay the bills for the house. You got your electric bill. You might have some of you might got gas, some of you might got oil, some of you might got water, trash. You got your utilities. You got everything that you need to pay to run a house. Y'all know what it takes to run a house. And then you got to have your food, and you got to have all the other things that you need as far as your cleaning products and your toiletries and everything to keep the house fresh and keep the house functioning and make sure that everybody's happy and make sure everybody got what they need to brush their teeth, bathe, and all that. All that good stuff. All that stuff can run up a bill as well. Whether, groceries, all that stuff runs up a bill. And then once you did the budget on that and you realize that, hey, I want to go buy this, or I want to save over here, you can save some money if you really take the time to save. But your 40-hour a week, that 9 to 5 job that you have, working 40 hours by itself, is not going to cut it by itself in this economy unless you're really tight on the budget and you really know how to save, and you're really in a position where you have that money down, that extra money put aside for you to be able to do whatever extra it is that you want to do. 9 times out of 10, you really got to buckle down in this season. We already see where this is going. You see where it's going. So you're going to have to realize that with that 40-hour week job that you have, you're going to have to figure out something else that you can do to help bring in some extra income. It does not matter how much money you make on your job in this season. We seem to be getting maxed out no matter what you do or how much money you make. 20 hours a week, when you got a $2,000 a month apartment, and that $2,000 a month apartment is taking up all of your income to the point where you're only making $2,400 to $3,000 a month, and then that's before taxes. So after they take taxes out of that, what do you really have? You won't have enough to pay the rent, but you won't have enough to pay your car note. You won't have enough to have money for recreation. You won't have no money to have money to buy the things that you need, the necessities, just the bare necessities to make it inside the house. And you don't want to be house poor, so you're going to have to start some extra income coming into that house before the house gets depleted. You're going to have to think about that right now and think about where you can cut costs. And a lot of you keep saying you can't cut costs nowhere, but everybody has a way you can cut costs, because let me tell you something. If you get in a position, I used to say the same thing. I couldn't cut costs nowhere until I became homeless, and I could cut costs everywhere because then I didn't have nothing. Once I had nothing, I didn't have no other choice but to cut costs, because there was nothing for me to hold on to. So when you really buckle down and you really sit down and you think about how you're living your life right now, you'll realize that there are some savings that you can save on some of the things, even some of the things that you're buying that you may not need to buy, such as vinegar and water is a good cleaning product for the house, opposed to all the chemicals that we use to clean our house. But you got to think about these things and start thinking about how many cleaning products that we have been buying, and we end up with a whole closet full when we really didn't need but vinegar and water, from what they tell us that that's the best thing to clean your home with. And it's safe, and so you save money on a lot of the things that you normally would buy. You don't need to buy, such as ammonias and all of that. Outside, you may need your bleach, but you don't need all that extra stuff. We buy a lot of scented stuff. We buy a lot of extra stuff that we really don't need in that area. Right along with skincare and all of that. We do need our skincare products, but we don't have to buy as many as we do buy. Ladies, you understand what I'm talking about? We got to get to a place where right now we need to look at our income and see exactly where it's getting depleted. Your 40-hour-a-week job, the income is not enough. And 40 hours is not enough to make it in this economy today. Even if you're making $20 an hour, it's just not enough. Especially when you think about the way it is and the cost of living, and the fact that you still want to live decent. You want to live scraping the bottom of the barrel. But if and so you don't buckle down and tighten down and start figuring out how to generate some extra income into that situation, you may end up scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's just simple as that. Because the cost of things are steady rising. Everything is steady rising. But if you really put your mind to it and you say, I'm going to do it. See, it only sounds hard because of the fact that you're not willing to do it. If you're willing to get up and willing to grind for your family and willing to get out there and make things happen so you can have what you need, you will realize that you can do it and it will get done. And those same hours of the week, those same hours of the day, you will be able to pull off what it is that you need. And before you know it, you'll have that penny jar over there and that jar will be getting full. You'll look up and you'll be able to save that $20, $25 a month to put over there, and before you know it, it will add up. It will add up over a course of a time, and you will begin to realize that you can save. I remember when I was in the workplace, it was like I would save all my spare change, and I would put it in a jar. You know, I still do that right to this day. I save all my spare change, and I'll put it in a jar. Sometimes at the end of the month, or end of 2 months or 3 months, I take that jar and I sit down and I wrap it all up, and I may have $50, $60, $70. That money that you save with your spare change, you could put that in a separate account by itself. Why? Because you was not expecting that's money that you, in your mind, you probably think you already spent it because you already used that $20 to buy whatever you need. You got back the change from it, so you threw the change and the pennies and everything in the jar. So I look at that like that's money I'd already spent anyway, so I will put it aside. And before I know it, I would have $70, I'd have $80, and I would take that and I will put that into my savings account. And that's how I was able to build up enough money to get my credit cards paid off, to help get out of debt, to help me begin to rebuild my credit after going through a bad divorce, because 40 hours a week was not enough. 40 hours was not enough. And then on the weekend, I would go yard sale and I would look for things and I would resell them on eBay back then. See, back then I used to know how to do all that stuff, and I would put stuff on eBay, and so this is something I'm giving for a lot of y'all out there that may need to start your own business. Those are some ideas that you can use, and it seemed to work. It seemed to work back then. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got to get your stock and everything. Of course, I'm not really interested in doing that now at this age, but if I have to go back to it, I would know how to do it. You see what I'm saying? So you just got to figure out what it is that you can do. So a lot of people go to work, especially the men. They go to work, they get off work. They may have a business that they might do on the weekend. They might go do lawn care service. They might go wash cars. They might do some detailing on the side. They may go and do some power washing. They may go and cut wood, split wood for people in the wintertime. They may do some Instacart, some gig work. There's always something right now that you could do right now. Right now, you need to start doing these things right now so you can start putting some money aside before it gets bad. You got to work ahead of this thing. You got to get ahead of this thing as best you know how before you look up and your house is depleted and then there's nothing for you to to hold on to, or for nothing for you to build from. So, I mean, especially with the way they land people off and everything right now, you got to grab what you can do. You just straight up, you just got to do a money grab right now. You got to get out there and grind where you can. You got to work hard where you can. You got to be able to put your hand to the plow where you can. You got to be able to look at the fact and say, I want to live this certain lifestyle. I want to drive this certain car, even in the economy the way it is right now. But you got to be ambitious enough to get out there and go get that money and realize your 40 hours is not enough for the lifestyle that you have chosen for yourself. Now, that 40 hours is just barely enough to give you any type of lifestyle to keep a roof over your head. So you're still going to have a little something extra. It ain't got to be a lot. You might only need another $800. You might only need another $1,000 or $2,000. You might only need another $4,000 to go along with what you got for you to be comfortable. It's what it makes you comfortable and what you think you're going to need extra in your house to make you comfortable. So I'm just wanting to throw that out there for somebody who may be thinking about the fact that, I got this 40-hour-a-week job. I'm able to pay my rent, but I'm not able to. I'm able to pay my rent. I may be able to pay my electric bill, but I'm not able to have that luxury of having that extra money that I may need to be able to save some and be able to, buy myself a few things. Because who don't want to go to the mall? Who don't want to eat out? Who don't want to catch a movie from time to time? Who don't want that glass of wine when they want it? But all those things will have to wait now while you building yourself. When you're building yourself, those are things that can just be thrown out the way so that you can see where your money's going, so you'll be able to make good decisions on how you're stacking your money up and how you're putting your life together in this time right now. Ain't saying the struggle got to last always, but if you begin these good work habits now of going to get what you need, you will realize that before the year is out, you could have been and saved an extra $500, an extra $600 just by putting away a little bit at a time. It don't take much. It only makes it scary when you don't try it and you don't do it. And a lot of people that buckle up against it are those that just don't want to do it to start with. But if you're really serious about your life and you're really serious about your income, you're really serious about having that extra money put aside so that you can make it through these trying times, then this is what you would do. It does not matter if it start out and it's just your spare change jar or you put $5 or $20 aside each pay period. You can pinch that off, and so every other week, $20 here, whatever you could put aside. Every little bit helps before you start building some savings. Before you know it, it will add up. What's the rush? You don't have to rush nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We're in this thing look like we're going to be in it for quite a while. So you got time to start now putting some things away so that you will have enough to carry you through. But right now, I would say it's time for you to start figuring out what extra you can do to go along with what you got. And so I understand that a lot of you ladies now, I'm going to have to come to you for 1 minute before I end this video. A lot of us good things want to sit home. A lot of us good things see things going down that route where maybe you have to jump in right now for a little while. He may have been paying all the bills, and then evidently with the high rising cost of inflation, this is where you as a good helpmate would jump in there and help build that family. After so you have time off, or you figure out how you can get on your computer and create an income, start yourself a YouTube channel, begin to start yourself an eBay business or something that you can do from home where you can generate some income, babysit from somebody, maybe cook some meals for somebody, start yourself some dinners and sell some dinners, whatever you know you're good at, whatever you can put your hand to begin to make some extra money. I'm just throwing some things out there, some food for thought, for you to be able to help out with the rising cost of inflation that's going on today, because it's hitting everybody's house and everybody needs to work where we can. Every able body on deck right now inside of any home needs to work right now. So even if you come together and you put 3 or 4 or 5 people in the house, everybody needs to pull their weight in this season, because right now we're going into a season where it's going to be rough for everybody, and everybody still wants to live that nice life. People want to look good, they want to smell good, they want to drive good, they want to ride good, and they want to eat good. In order to do that now, you got to do that extra. You got to be willing to put in that work. And if you're willing to put in that work, it will work for you. I hear T.D. Jakes in my ear saying it only works if you work it. Come on, somebody. And that is the truth. If you really want the things that you want and you really want to live through this situation. You don't have to lay down and die. You can get right on up and say, okay, it is what it is, and this is where it's going to be. Let me get up and let me see what I can do. Let me see how much money I can help pull in. Let me bring what I can bring to the table. Now everybody needs to come to the table. Even the dog, he needs to come to the table too. Anything that eats, everything that has breath, need to praise ye the Lord. And if a man don't work, he don't eat. Come on, somebody. We need to put our homes in order right now. Let's just be realistic about it right now. Right now, we all need to come together. We need to pray together, and then we need to go on out there and get that paper so that our house can stand. So with that being said, I just want to throw that out there. I'll let y'all know that I love y'all. And I just love doing these videos so that I can put my 2 cents in something. And with that being said, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. And we are on our way to 10K over here. And if so, you've not turned your notification bell on, please turn your notification bell on at this time so that you will be notified when I drop my next video. And we do have so many people watching that are not subscribed. Y'all come on in, join the family. We uplift, motivate, and subscribe. We uplift, motivate, and inspire over here. That's what we do. And we be a blessing. Amen.